As leaders, many of you know that industries all over the world are having difficulty. And one of them is the newspaper and magazine industry. They're closing all over the world. Can we lower the volume on this just a little bit? The amplification? Thank you. So the Times of London did a study to better understand their readers' concerns. And they sent out a survey to 20,000 people in countries all over Europe and the US with a bunch of questions on them. And one of the questions on the questionnaire was, what is your greatest fear? And it turns out that snakes, spiders, earthquakes, all ranked pretty low on the list. In fact, death itself was only number 2. Number 1, public speaking. Which of course means most people would rather die than make a speech. I mean, if you think about it, asked to give a eulogy at a funeral, most people would rather be in the coffin. And yet we know that for leaders in any business, anywhere in the world, one of the most important skills is the ability to communicate in a positive and powerful way to your colleagues, to your direct reports, to your customers. So today is going to be an investment in one of your greatest skills, one of your greatest assets, which is not just your ability to give information, but to touch, to move, to ultimately inspire people with a leadership vision. It's one thing to have a positive leadership vision. It's one thing to be a positive leader. But how do you communicate that in a way that really makes a difference, that produces results? You know, some people walk into a room and they light it up. Some people walk out of a room and light it up. The question is, what's the difference? Why is it in some situations, when we get up to speak and communicate a positive vision, the ideas just come right to us? They flow. We have the right ideas, the right words. We're connected. Our body is connected to what we're saying, and the right answers just come through us. Why is it in other situations, when we get up to speak about something that we know, something that we're prepared for, we get up to speak and something goes wrong, and we get stuck, and we wind up stuttering and stammering and getting lost. We don't even know our middle name. How many of you have been there? Just me? Why is it in some situations we're brilliant? In other situations we're brutal, if you will. What we're capable of is amazing, but what often happens is disappointing. And it's not about intelligence, it's about delivery and state, the psychological and emotional state that you're in. Listen, we probably use about 10,000 words a day. I'm sure Rob talked about this the other day. But we have 1,000 meetings a year. We have hundreds of conversations, each one of them an opportunity to touch, move, and inspire. How often do we fail to really make a connection because we don't have a strategy? So when you worked with Rob the other day, I think you guys worked on the content side of the triangle, yeah? You focused here on developing a strategy so that you're focusing on your outcome first and that you're building a ramp. And instead of talking about what you want to talk about, you asked core questions like, what do they need to know in order to produce that outcome? You talked about getting clear about not only what they need to know, but what do they need to feel? What's the emotional side of it? And I'm sure Rob talked to you about the importance of dessert, ending with something sweet, yeah? Something sweet and something sticky because it stays in the brain. But we know that having great content is not enough. It's not enough anymore. In the last 25 years, communication has radically changed. It used to be